Yeah, so this is a 93 GMC that one of the first guys I worked with down here in this area, a young man who got himself in trouble. This is his truck now. He's finally gotten out of trouble, and he's got his license back. So this is a $500 truck. You know, a lot of guys starting out, this is what they get, is just a good bones truck, tow package. So what we're going to do is just cut out the rusted steel and put steel in and just kind of clean it up with some silver paint. It's at the bottom line. Just bend some stuff up, put a new muffler on, clean up a little bit, and safety. And it's good to go. So here's a guy who, when I first worked with him, thought the world was coming to an end. He would never have a license again. He'd never have a vehicle. And it's been about 4.5 years of him doing his part. And now we're trying to, you know, kind of honor that by helping him have this truck ready at the end. So that's what we're doing today.
Yeah, so typical GM rust in the extended cab, the cab corners and the rockers. The one rocker's fine, so I just made a little template from the good rocker, and you just kind of put that in to make sure that it fits, so you don't have to walk back and forth. And we couldn't buy cheap enough rockers and weld them in, but just the same, I got some tin laying around. We're just gonna bend it up and rivet it on, put a little bit of Bondo to blend it in, paint it, and it'll be good for the life of the truck. So we're, yeah, here we go. There's your rocker. More or less. I'm gonna take the back and cut it, fold it around, so we got a nice back cab corner, and should be able to just kind of hit it into somewhere solid at the back. So safety just says no holes. So that nobody cuts themselves, but this will last a lot longer than the rest of the car.
And as far as if we can rivet it on right now or something, and then pass the safety, I can do the body and, you know, grind it down, Bondo, paint it and everything in my shop.
Homemade rocker panel cab corner, about a half hour. 3 hours of talking with Rick. Yeah, I think we'll work our way over that way.
Right here?
Yeah. Watch your fingers.
Oh, my fingers are like...
They bleed when you hit them with the drill.
You do the pass safety, I'll do the cheese.
Those paint-filled ones, I hate them. Oh, because it's just enough to not make them fit nice in the bit.
So if I wanted to actually weld this, I'd pull this out and weld that hole.
Yeah.
And so that's how I do.
I like the screws because it allows you...
Instead of a rivet?
Well, I'd pull it out and replace it with a rivet because it's a shorter, but
yeah,
it's nice for oops, where it's like, oh no, I gotta pull those back in. So I'll cut this corner and then just kind of tap it nice, so you don't have to deal with this corner, and then I'll just weld that, and you got yourself a cab corner.
Yeah. When I am introduced to somebody, it's kind of difficult to say, you know, what do you do? Where do you come from? You know, so I have to kind of, because I did 25 years in prison and I was an ex-gang member and everything, I have a different story than the average person, right? So I did a whole career in prison, but it's not, you know, to just say to somebody, oh, I was in prison, I screwed up in part of my life, and now I'm okay. It doesn't cover it, right? And so I work with youth, and one of the things I try to tell them is that things happen to us and we become a certain way. We don't have to stay that way. We can go back. We can undo what's done. This is, you know, grace, forgiveness, all these things that so my story is, obviously I became this monster that was in prison, you know, 25 years and stuff, but how did I become that? So good kid, grew up in a good home. Had every benefit that way. It's hard for me to think of my father as being an 18-year-old and 19-year-old with me as a baby. They did the best they could. In the environment back then, that you were a Christian kid, that you went to church all the time, that you were part of stockades and brigades, I couldn't go hang around at that. I couldn't play cards, I couldn't do things like this because I came from a Christian family. No big deal. In grade 6, grade 7, grade 8, I didn't want to let guys hurt girls in the school. and I tried to protect them, and I was bullied. The point is I had 2 sisters, and so this is why I took this stand. I'll be 60 years old. I can tell you the first and last name of the bullies and show you the house they used to live in. That's how impactful that is. The reason I tell that is bullying is almost always a base. I have a joke that I say that's very true. I haven't met a gang boss yet that's not a foster child. We all come from this kind of damage that builds us. You know, if I said I work with angry young men with no fathers, people understand that disenfranchisement of not a young man being raised without a father. Being raised without a father can be a father who's working all the time. So here I was thinking I'm starting high school. I'm going to be on the wrestling team. I'm going to be on the football team. Things are going to do good. But meanwhile, what I am is set up to fail. I've actually gone quiet. I've lost my power, which is my voice when you're a young man. You don't have any power any other way. You can align with power. And so here I am looking for the wrong thing. I put myself in the wrong spot because of my inability to voice what had happened to me. When the police asked me who hurt me, of course I did the don't snitch, don't rat, because I'd been on the street for a year. You don't talk to cops. With my knowledge base of 1 year, I didn't understand that don't snitch, don't rat does not apply to a grown man who rapes young boys, right? That was outside of that thing. So even as I thought I knew criminality and I knew everything, I made a big mistake. Because I didn't use my voice and say to the police, here's who he is, I owned the next victim. And even though that's not right, it's not correct, I'm not responsible for another person's behavior, I still woke up at 3 a.m, had to flip my mattress over, take my pajamas off because they were soaked, because I was watching a young man being hurt. People don't understand that there's a lot involved in don't snitch, don't rat. I used to work for McCluskey Brothers. We made aggregate handlers, so I was welding. And when our tumblers, the big tumblers, we bring guys up from Florida, Alabama. These are special guys that do the pneumatics. They're a team, eh? They come in 3 or 4 guys. One guy does pneumatics, one guy does the wiring, one guy's the great big rock tumblers. And so these guys are sitting there at break time and they're saying, I just saw a brand new car all rusty. What's with that? Does the cold weather make them rust up here? And we go, no, the government puts salt on the road and that's what rusts the cars. Oh, so the government buys you a new car when it rusts? No, that's not how it works. No. Yeah, no. And so they couldn't understand how the government could put something on the road that rusts the cars, but don't pay for the... No, the government owns auto body shops. That's what they do. Well, can I pull them out and weld them?
Yeah, you can do that too.
Because I've got this small MIG.
Yep, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
my sheet metal MIG.
Perfect too, yeah. And you can buzz it nice and as long as you get enough steel underneath. Should be fine.
Well, I mean, we might run into that where it pops burn through, but then I'll just do the same thing you're doing.
Yeah.
I'll just keep moving along.
Yeah.
At some point, the epoxy gets up.
If you work from the outsides in, you end up with, oh, crap. It's really one side to the next.
That's why God made grinders.
Brake, yeah. Yeah. Sticker still on there.
Projects that include conversions and repairs to anything from Ferraris to chainsaws. And check out the Tape Boss, my newest invention that's coming to market. And remember, if you're not filthy, you're not rich.